Ask me. Are y'all ready? It's Friday night. I am. How was everybody this evening? Come on in here, everybody. Come on in. Come on in, my friend. China. How you feeling, China?
I'm feeling great. How are you?
All right, all right. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good like a Fleetwood. I'm good like a Fleetwood, baby. Woo! Everybody, come on in the chat. Let's get this thing going. It's time to get it started. Yes, indeed. The dynamic trio gonna do it what we do this evening up in here. What's up, Melissa Smith? Charles Harden, Britt Bratt, Audrey Adams in the house. What's up, Elizabeth? How you feeling, Elizabeth G? What's up, Karen? Melrose, Francine. What's up, Honeybee Lee? Kimberly Ortiz. Will Power in the building. What's up, Janet Cross? Edith, I see you. Andrea Davis, Facts 100. China in the chat. What's up, Elaine B. Dawn Casaza. Josie Furry, I see you. Beth Mikey. Patrice Bean. Is that you, Marilyn? Is that you, Marilyn? Y'all know Marilyn is my co-worker. That's right, we work together. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Y'all, come on in and hit the like button as you come on in. You know what to do. What's up, Jennifer? Elaine B. Holly White. I see you, Beth Mikey. Tressa. Jace is in here. What's up, Jennifer? Holly Mayersky. What's up, Jenny Brown? Irina. Laugh Out Loud TV. Just like Candy is in the building. Hey, Yola. What's up, Ayola? What's up, Jenny Brown? Came to get down. Lady Virgo. I see you. Figures. Britt Bratt, Sherry Core. What's up, Michaela? Let me see if I can get my DJ tight this evening. I bet you any amount of money. That's Keisha right there saying, put the chat in here. That's me. Keisha is just like me, y'all. I'm doing it now, Keish. There you go. There you go. What's going on, Felicia? I hear that DJ. You see that DJ. You see that DJ skill. Boy, beyond blessed in the building. What's up, Kanita? What's up, Kanita? Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Y'all, come on in. Empty Head Records. Come on in the building. Phil Brad. I see you, Patrice. Elizabeth G. Soldier. Conversing with Kanita. She is. She be in here wearing that hair, don't she? Don't she? She do her thing. Yes, indeed. I just want to shout out Connie Barnes. It's like the Beyonce song on it at the beginning. It did, tell the truth. Thank you so much for being our sponsor this evening. Appreciate the love and glad to Haruna.
Hi, everybody.
What's going on, Keisha? How you doing?
Good. Getting ready for this cruise. Yay.
Get ready for what?
This cruise. Going to the Bahamas. Now,
You going to the Bahamas on a cruise?
I got to escape the narcs for the holiday. I got to get out the country. I can't even be around.
Good luck with that one. Where your cruise going? I love being on the island all the time, anytime I can. And I love all of the islands.
Yes. Going to the Bahamas.
You going to the Bahamas?
Yes.
That's always a good choice. That's always a fun place to hang out at, On the sea, you at the sea, you get to listen to the waves crash up against the boat. You get to go all the places to set up so you can just have fun the whole time you there. I was a buddy of mine went on a cruise, and they were on a Carnival cruise. And Carnival get a lot of heat. Cruise line. But this cruise looked like they was having a ball on there. I was like, whoa. And my first cruise ever was Carnival. And it was the most fun. It was the most fun until I think I went, I can't remember the cruise line. I think it might have been Royal Caribbean, when I first went to an all-white party on a cruise. That is nice. That is nice. It is nice. Yeah. So make sure you check the itinerary and do all the stuff that they have y'all doing. Be ready for each.
I've never been on one. Ever. I've never been on a cruise. I've always planned it. And the narc would always, different narcs would just always find a way to just ruin it right before it's time to go.
Yes, indeed.
So I've never been on one.
Oh my, you about to have the time of your life. You hear me?
And one narc was like, I go on them all the time. I was like, of course you do, because you never take the children and you never pay the child support. It must be a wonderful life.
Whoa.
To be able to brag about it.
And
you leashed off somebody to get on there.
Good gracious. We'll get back to that in a second, because right now we got some people I got to acknowledge. Hey, Ola. Thank you so much. And Marilyn, my co-worker. These are our sponsors tonight, y'all, along with Connie. Thank y'all so much. The love is felt. Listen, when you going on the first cruise that you ever been on, you getting ready to have an amazing time. You hear me?
Yes.
An amazing time.
He froze a little bit. And this is the blessing part of it. This is my first ever vacation with my dad, because that restored after the divorce with the narcissist just over the past couple years, because things start coming out the more I learned about the generational background of it. And my dad, everything that I knew growing up was a lie. Like, my dad actually did want to have a strong relationship, and I'm his only child, so it's really nice because this is our first vacation. All of my children are going, the adult children. Everybody made it a way to go. So this is a first vacation with the family,
the whole family.
Really love my children and my dad, and it's really, really nice.
Listen, Keith. I might have been on about 15 or 16 cruises now. Every one of them was phenomenal. The worst case scenario, the worst cruise I've ever been on, and it wasn't bad. Let me take that. Let me not use the word worse. The least amount of fun on a cruise that I've been on was, I think it was Norwegian. And it wasn't because the boat wasn't superior to the rest of these boat lines out here, because it was. But again, man, I just found that Carnival, because every boat has a pretty much the same setup, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's different levels to the entertainment. So when you go on Carnival and you go to a comedy club, it's real comedy in the comedy club, okay? You go on the other cruise lines, it's like family comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rated
Gotcha.
G comedy, you know, and I think now Royal Caribbean, good God, the club, you go think you go the club on Royal Caribbean cruises. That's the only one that I think really that could rival Carnival, because Carnival is a party. That's what you know when you seriously like, look, I need to have some fun. I want to meet some people. I want to party. Carnival, y'all owe me for this, man. Y'all owe me for
Oh,
this.
Lord.
People be dogging Carnival out. They be dogging Carnival out. Carnival, you're gonna have a ball on a Carnival cruise. I'm telling you. Now, hopefully, don't nobody start fighting though.
I've seen some fights on here.
That part right there. It happens. It happens. Not on the other cruise lines though. Royal Caribbean, nightlife, man, it's man, it's everything. I want to go on one of those Virgin cruises. Whew, man.
So Carnival is the Spirit of the ocean, like Spirit Airlines.
Say that, but I don't think it is. No, I ain't gonna put that on Carnival like that. Nah.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe, but they nice though. The boats are nice. I did get sick on my first Carnival cruise. It was on a small boat though, and that was that was 30 something years ago. Now, boats are so much bigger. You don't have to take the Dramamine or anything. You just get on the boat, and it's you don't get sick. You don't feel it moving. You will never feel the boat moving unless you outside and you see it going through the water. And I think subconsciously you kind of feel it, you know, but outside of that, man, you're going to be, and then at nighttime, when you on your balcony, looking out at the ocean and the moonlight is on the water, I'm telling you, it's mentally taking you to another place. Listen to your music. It's a wonderful place. That's right, Patrice Bain. She going on a smooth jazz cruise. I want to go on one.
I love jazz.
I want to do that one. I want to do the Tom Joyner. Oh man, it's so much fun. And you know what, guys? This ties right into the topic of tonight.
Yeah.
Life after dealing with a narcissist. What is life like after dealing with a narcissist? And I should have added to the title to say, and having not jumped back in another narcissistic relationship. Because lots of times that's what a lot of people do. Run right. I even did it. I ain't gonna say I was in a relationship like that with one, but I was dating one. Goodness gracious, man. So to say that it won't happen to you, man, you lying to yourself.
Yeah.
But the bright side of it is, the bright side of this, guys, one of the biggest worries that I had when I was dealing with the narc and getting out of that relationship was that fear. Of course, that fear of, will you find it? That's the weirdest fear that I've ever had. It's like I'm wondering. No, I knew it was much better out here, but it's still doubt.
Yeah.
You're gonna be honest with yourself. There is still doubt. You still kind of have a doubt with yourself, like, but what if? What if I don't find that person or whatever? You know, you still have some kind of doubt, even though I think with me, I more so felt like, man, you can't do worse than this right here, bro. Not you're gonna have, it's gonna be a hard push to do worse than what you was in. But it is, how worse is out there.
It is.
If we gonna be honest, worse is out there for everybody to think that it's not. It's out there and it's waiting, hoping that you just want to run right back into something and prove a point. Boy, you're going to have a point to prove. So I made this topic tonight because I want to give people a realistic sense of what it's like and a realistic sense of a timeline, because I think that's really, really important to people to know, man, how long do I got to think like this? How long is this mess going to be stained and engraved in my mind? How long is that going to take for me to get over this realistically? And since there's three of us on here, we can all give you three different time accounts and just give you what got us to that place. You know, for me, I think my timeline. Who is that playing?
Is that?
Yeah, that I'm hearing that too.
Is that you, Keisha? It's you in there playing with the buttons. Stop playing with the buttons. So for me,
we can't hear her.
You muted.
I turned it off to see if it was me.
Oh, okay. So for me, my timeline, and I'm saying the timeline of how long did it take me to be able to go through a day and not think about that person for that day. How long did that take? And guys, I'm saying this is going to be something that's gradual for everybody. Okay, it's gradual. And for me, I think it might have taken me 2 years realistically before I got to a place where I don't think about this person every day. You dig? And I'm saying they might come through your mind on something, that person's name or something like that, a thought of that person. But, you know, you get to a place where even that stops, where even a thought, you know, you got to think into something and pursue a thought in order to think about the person. It starts to dissipate. But let me say this to everybody. The thing that helped me, so, and I'm saying this so that it doesn't take you 2 years. The thing that helped it dissipate with me was I found power in self-accountability. When I got to that place where I held Harry totally accountable for everything. And I know that's hard to do. That's hard to do. When you get dogged by a dog, that's hard to do. The whole you're like, okay, it's your fault. You at fault. Yeah. They a dirty dog and this, but it's your fault. That's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy place to get to. But when I got to that place, that is the most comfortable place on the planet for me. And it helped me walk right out of those feelings that you feel stuck, you feel like you can't focus, you can't concentrate. Guys, not only do you get to a place where you can focus and concentrate on your life, your happiness, if you can say that. I want everybody in there, say this to yourself, my happiness. Just say it to yourself. It's different.
Happiness.
It's different. It's different. I walked away from that because I'm able to look in the mirror And no matter what, we went to every police visit. The 270 plus police visits that I had, I can look in the mirror and without a shadow of a doubt, without hesitation, and I can say, hey, look, you crazy? Bro, are you crazy? You were still there after the first one. You were still there. You were still there after the first one. No, that's not her fault. That's not her fault, because you want to feel sorry for somebody. Because you want to feel sorry for that person and you want to fix that. You're going to sit around. This person keep the police at your house and you trying to fix them. And you saying it's her fault? How can I sleep with myself knowing, no, that was me. That was me. I was determined that I was going to learn this lesson the hard way. Nah, baby, you need a whole lot more than just the police, the courts, and everything else that you're doing. You're going to need more than that to ruin my love for you. And I could point at her and say that's her? No. So, and I'm saying all this to say, guys, I learned how to look me right in the mirror, look right at the man in the mirror and say, man, you lost your mind if you think any of that was her fault. Because all she ever did was be herself. Guys, it's kind of like how when you go, if you, I don't know how many of y'all ever watched the African safaris, and they'll take people out on a safari and you get to watch the animals in their natural habitat, and you'll see lions and tigers and hyenas, everything. They out there chasing different animals because that's how they eat. You got to catch something in order to eat. And that's nature. And the people who do the tours, they never interfere with nature because it's nature. That's one of the rules that they go by and they live by while they're out there in the jungle, that, hey, man, you know, it's unfortunate this animal has to lose its life, but that's nature, you know, and that's exactly how it rolls. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to go into nature and we want to stop the lion from eating the gazelle. No, stop it. That's a pretty gazelle. That's us. And then we mad when the lion tear our arm off and start eating us. We are interfering with nature. When you learn that you're interfering with nature, when you're dealing with a narcissist, that's who they are. That's their nature. And you are saying, I agree to go along with this. I'm in this with you, but I'm going along with it, baby. We gonna fix that. I know you don't went out and messed up all the money. I got some more. I'm gonna help you. We gonna fix it, baby. I'm right here. Look, I know you don't crash your car. Hey, look, you can use my car. Okay. I know you ain't got no money. Look, you can have my money. Baby, you ain't got no good clothes. I'm gonna have to get you some clothes, baby. Let's go to the store. I'm gonna get you some clothes. We are determined. We're gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this brokenness in you. I'm gonna prove. Listen. This is the part right here. I'm gonna prove to you. I'm gonna prove to you that no matter how bad you dog me, do y'all hear that? That's us talking. No matter how bad you treat me, no matter how much you lie to me, how much you steal from me, how much you cheat on me, we gonna fix that. We gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it, baby. I'm going to fix it. Once you cannot lose that character until you start to hold yourself accountable, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot fix that character until you hold that character responsible.
And that's take, for one, that's take getting out of the Lululand. Okay, first, everybody's been bewitched. Remember that movie? You should do that. Bewitched. So when everybody was bewitched,
Hold
you
on.
got to be
She do this and then she do like when she do her nose or something.
Go.
your nose.
Like that. Like,
Yeah. So when everybody went bewitched, they went to the Lululand. So they bifurcated, and part of them was in the Lululand, part of us was in the Lululand. And in our imaginations, we had this, like, great family. We working hard, we building something, everything that, the narc kind of built in the Lululand, the land of illusions, because everything was an illusion. All of that was what we believe reality to be. Now, when we in the Lululand, that's a cursed place. You got a cursed land and you got God's land. Cursed land, you can't bless what God has cursed. So any blessing that has came, when you try to go and rescue the narc,
run that by him again. You just ran by.
you can't bless what God has cursed. Because I had to have this discussion with somebody, because they were saying, well, I just wanted to make sure, that the family got out, everybody work. I see them working so hard. I see them trying, and every time they get ahead, they lose everything. I said, see, that's the issue right there. That's a cursed life. It don't matter if it's blood or not. It's a cursed life. And when it's a cursed life, if God cursed them because of their decisions and their wickedness, and you come in and you trying to bless them, that's like the little engine that could but never would. Like, you never will be able to make that happen, because you're only putting your money and your time and your energy into a demonic kingdom. So anytime you're sowing into the land of illusions and the land of demonic kingdom and the land of the marine and all of that, you're losing money. There is no payback for that. You're going to reap a rotten harvest, a decayed harvest, a harvest of death, decay, and destruction, because that's all the enemy got to offer. So that's how the trap happened. And growing up and not learning this stuff, this is still things that we should have, been taught if we did it God's way. Like our parents taught us who he was, their parents taught them. That didn't happen. There was generational curses that happened. So everybody who came out of this had mercy. God himself came and rescued us. It didn't happen generationally. So when we came into this stuff and we didn't know, we just got bit with the venom, because the power that operate through the narcissist, that's what was giving us those kisses. That's what was giving us all of that stuff. When people understand how the spirit realm work, demons literally can put venom in a person through saliva and a kiss. So when somebody kiss somebody and it's a seduction to where they can't stop thinking about that, they can't stop doing this, the person, the narcissist or whoever they meet, might be so demonized that they might literally be possessed by a marine spirit, and that marine spirit was kissing that person. That's when you have like the rumination, the mind traps. You can't stop thinking about them. That take a couple years, maybe one or two, some deliverance, some knowing who God is, him pulling you through, him giving your mind back. It take all of that stuff for you to come out of that, because that is a snake trap. You in a pit of snakes. And a narcissist they're so demonized, they are agents for the marine kingdom. If people understood that kingdom, they will understand what they dealing with. Like, even in all the movies, they always showing the marine kingdom. They always paying homage to that, because that is what's dominating. That's our real fight. And the narcissists, they're puppeteers, because they freely give themselves over to water spirits on a regular. Incubus, succubus, water spirits. Jezebel, water spirit. All of them water spirits. The way they think about money, water spirit. All of that is that kingdom. And even in the Bible, a lot of times when he conquered the waters and he tell us about the strange woman going in the pit under the water, all that stuff, that is that kingdom. Like, we have to really educate ourselves and understand that when we was dealing with a serious witch or warlock, our life was literally on the line.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we got rescued, literally God himself, like all the time, that hand come down and free some people, because we may not have known. You know, we may, even when, if we went to church every single day, they're not talking about this in church. They're not
No.
talking about shapeshifters. They're not talking about just straight up
Uh,
demonize, ask, and turn into what that is type of people out here.
And that's why they only give you certain verses and chapters of the Bible, because it's only certain things that they want to talk about. They're
Mm-hmm.
not talking about where it gets into the demonic realm and all of that. They never really even talk about that. It's always something to fit the narrative of what we're going through in life. They never get deep down into it, because that's not what they're about. And that's why I really don't, care for going to sit up in a church, because I feel like it's all for money. You ask me. It's that knowledge should be free.
Yeah.
But they always manage to find a way to get paid through it some way, somehow. But I'm not gonna, get all off into that. But my timeline for my healing was when it took me a month to go no contact. Took me like 60 days to be disciplined. Because once I set my mind to something, I'm disciplined and I'm patient.
Hey.
And I knew I wasn't going back to this man at that point. And so my thinking about him was not because I wanted him back. My thinking was like, how you so used to routine, like
Right.
you see something, you want to talk to that person about what just happened and what you saw, because that's what you used to.
Right.
And so that's what I had to get out of the habit of. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't expecting that. And so then I had to start working on that. But I think it took me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What was the hardest part for you?
The hardest part for me was trying to survive because of the way he left me. So it wasn't really him. It was about trying to survive.
And figure.
So,
yeah.
For figuring out how I'm going to do for my kids, no work history. That was the hardest part for me. I didn't have time to think about a man. I had to think about my kids. And so it was crunch time for me. And so it probably took me like 8 months to get into it. And I say that because at some point I went into trying to do something that we were trying to put together. And I was doing it as like, so this he could see, but then it failed because I wasn't doing it for me. So then I learned that lesson and then got into something else and started doing it for me, and it started working. So I want to say I'll give it a whole year. But I think during that time I wasn't even heavily ruminating about him, because I didn't want to think about him. I didn't want to think about the situation. And that's why I was always in your chat, putting stuff in there and saying stuff, because I didn't want to think about the situation. But like I said, the hardest part for me was my children, them having to suffer. And when it's about my children, my family will tell you the gloves are off. I don't care about nobody. It's about them, and I'm gonna get it done.
There you go. That's big. That's big, because you know what? That's the main reason that most people, and I'm saying men and women, that's the main reason most people stay, because they like, man, my money ain't right. Let me say something to everybody in this chat. Your money ain't ever gonna be where you need it to be. Believe it or not, it's people out here with billions and their money ain't where they need it to be.
Mine was like, I think I was kind of stuck for a while, like longer than that. It was kind of the opposite, as far as like I was always like go hard, ride or die, like codependent to the core. So it was a lot longer for the rumination to stop, even after no contact. It was at least a year, but he did just such a traumatic thing. It was like, okay, that was such a life-threatening thing that I know logically I cannot go back. But I had such a high pain tolerance to just everything. Like I would smack myself with the glove constantly, you know, and still if it wasn't to that extreme and that many like family members involved in, you know, just getting justice and stuff, that I probably would have went back and got more because of the way the first marriage went. But it was just, it depend on that. And the way I was raised, like it depend on that pain tolerance and that codependency. Codependency is just as toxic as narcissism because both self-destruct. Like
Yeah.
you self-sacrifice, you sell yourself out. You pretty much, the narcissist is your god, like they are your idol, and you will dehumanize yourself for this narcissistic bum. Like, you know, they're literally a bum, and you would do all of this stuff in a preservation of the illusion and the idol that's in your mind. Like the whole relationship is in your mind. They might not have any teeth, but they got the best smile in your mind.
Yeah.
You know, everything is in your mind. And so that whole mind war was the biggest battle, because the relationship ending or the marriage ending, him doing what he did, that was just the violent act was actually it. That was the shaking, the jolt, the cheating and stuff. That, you know, it's just so much tolerance that should not be. That wasn't even the main issue. Like that was like blind eye to that. With codependency, you a blind eye that. But the violence, you can't blind eye violence. And in the church, like everything is in the church. So not only are you having this stuff happen, but you have all of these onlookers, his flying monkeys in the church saying, you need to pray this out, you need to work this out, you need to be more submissive, you need to do all of this. So you feel like you're doing a disservice to God if this falls apart. So it's all of these different components of lies that build up in the mind. So it's that mind fortress that had to be dismantled, and that took about a year. It was like going through what I see people go through in withdrawal and addiction. Like you go through the shakes, the first couple months, your body twitching, like what's that? Like you just be sitting up here like I'm having jokes.
What
Then
is this?
right, I'm
But
like,
you
what
know
is
what,
this?
Keisha?
You
The,
itching.
the night he left, I slept like a baby. My body was tired, and
Yeah.
I slept like a baby. I didn't miss him. I had my peace. I was able to sleep because he worked nights, and he would
Mm-hmm.
come in and wake me up in the middle of the night making noise because he wanted me to wake up out my sleep, and made sure he wore his work boots in the house,
Yeah.
dirtying up the carpet because it's snow. And I'm like, look, I ask you every day to take your boots off. You take them off at the door. You come all the way upstairs in your boots every night, and I have to say the same thing. He did it on purpose because they
Mm-hmm.
want to irritate you and you can't tell them what to do. But I slept like a baby the night he left.
The
My
first
body
couple
felt
nights are
good.
good. Even in rehab, the first couple nights, in the first week and first month, everything is wonderful. It's the after effect. Like once the brain start recognizing, okay, we missing some chemistry here. What's all of that? Something's missing. Then it start the rumination.
But Keisha,
Depending on the level of codependency. Like my codependency was high, even though success, independence, money, and all of that was good. The codependency was not good because of how I grew up. It was still growing up, still trying to please a narcissistic parent, still had me trying to please a narcissistic partner, even if they're invisible, because you're always trying to please somebody. And if that whatever that something or somebody is not there, you malfunction. You like, well, who do I please now? And then you don't even think about, you know, the children and things like that. You feel like, okay, I got that on automatic. It's like a worship, you know, until God replaced that, and God became, I had to reprogram to God being my everything truly, and not just going through the religious motions, but he truly had to become my father and everything else. And when he replaced that worship, that's where I'm supposed to give it to. That's when that started to go down and like spread out more, that rumination, that what ifs, that what about the new supply, what am I missing, like did I do, you know, all of that stuff stopped or slow down. I would say slow down.
I wasn't worried about the new supply. I saw it and I couldn't stop laughing.
You know what? That is something. That's something too that most people, are struggling with, and you, it's like I'm with you on that, China, because I was like, I remember I promised the narc. I actually promised the narc. I said, listen, I'm gonna give you a head start. I'm gonna give you a head start. Listen, I ain't gonna date nobody until you find somebody that sticks around. All right. I'm gonna sit back. We're gonna wait on that. And when she found a fool that was crazy enough to do that, man, everything after that. But and don't get me wrong, it still was a painful feeling, y'all. It wasn't. I was letting something go because I couldn't stand to be around it no more. It was like we want that feeling of companionship and all that, but at the same time, eventually your level of resentment towards that person, it grows stronger than your attraction to that person.
Yep.
And I was no longer attracted to that person.
Yep.
And I mean on any level.
Yep.
There was nothing that I wanted from that person. A lot of times when we break up, we still have a physical attraction to the person. So they still have a lot of influence over you. When but I stayed in it for a long time too, y'all. I was in that for 25 years. So I had a lot of time to be able to get beyond it, to be able to get over it. Because anybody could tell you that they walked away clean, happy, smiling, and shouting, but it doesn't work that way. Yeah. You still have to, you're going to still try to go to sleep on days that, that situation just going to be weighing on you. And again, the way I learned how to take all of the power from a narc was to give it back to me. Yeah. And when I point a finger at me, that means I'm pointing the finger. Listen, y'all, I want y'all to hear this. When you're pointing your finger at the narc, you empower the narc. You're saying that person had power over me that I couldn't control myself. But when you point the finger back at you empower yourself. Because now you're saying, wow, yeah, the narc was cheating on me, but you know what? I'm the one that decided. I knew something wasn't right, but I'm the one decided, all right, I'm going to stay until I catch them cheating. Mm-mm. Not knowing at the time, listen, man, you don't stay with somebody that you think is cheating. Okay, that's how you test yourself. If you really think this person is cheating on you, test your real belief. Test your belief. Leave them.
Test first that. You have to quit self-sabotaging. Like the whole toxic connection is that inability to look inside of yourself. Like you can, whenever you're focused like on a narcissist, if you're the codependent one, like you just think they're God, they think they're God. Like nobody's paying attention to God. That's number one. So everybody kind of working with some form of this whole antichrist thing. So it's not love, it's lust and obsession combined. It's never love. So in a situation like that, your thoughts are constantly preoccupied with somebody else's actions. So you don't really have time to look inside yourself and see like, what am I doing? How did I get here? What are my needs? Are my needs being met? Or any like compassion self? You're doing abusive things because you're with someone that's abusive and you're calling it a love connection and they're abusing you. And so that right there is already that part of that delulu distortion that Satan gives, because He allows you to do that whole self-hatred, self-disgust, all of that stuff on beating yourself up throughout the relationship. Because anytime somebody's cheating and they put you at risk for any type of STD or anything like that, that's abuse. Like that's abuse that they're doing. And then when you're constantly okay and allowing that, that's self-abuse. So when you're like self-abusing, self-destroying yourself because of self-deception, self-deception is when now the truth is presented, but you rather believe the lie and recreate it into something else. You making it, you deceiving yourself. So once you go into the Lululand, now this is the Lululand because you're in self-deception. Only God can get somebody from lying to themselves and believing their own lies. Once you get into the Lululand, everything that come with destroying yourself, your body, your temple, that's full, that's coming to you full throttle. So you're gonna get out with that self-hatred. You're gonna sit up there and you will keep allowing something that you know is bad. You know this person is lying on you, you know they cheating, you know they, you always have to walk on eggshells, you always have to protect the conversation, see whose house you're going over, how they gonna act. You always thinking about what their action might be doing and trying to put control measures in place to control an environment. You never take that time to look inward. So codependents don't really look inward like, okay, what are my deficits? They always looking, what is this person deficits? What is the narc doing? What is they saying? What is this person doing with the narc? Do they like that person? You're always thinking about something outside. Once you stop, once you allow God to like, okay, I'm gonna sit you down, and you start looking in you and you start understanding, okay, I might deal with rejection. I might have some childhood abandonment issues because of the parents. I might have some idolatry issues. I might turn my back on God every time a good looking guy come around. I don't know. I've done it in the past. You know, it's like once you start kind of taking that check, that itemized check, you will sit there and say, like, okay, so now I have to deal with me. I have to quit dating. I have to shut down all of this stuff. And I have to see what is it about me that got me in the narcosphere to begin with. How did I get to Delululand? And
You know,
that's usually dealing with yourself. Like, okay, I go ahead. You can go ahead.
now I just want to push back on that. I never thought that man was my God. I always went to my God when something wasn't going right. And I just didn't know that the devil was in my home that I was praying against. Because I used to go to God about that devil all the time, but I didn't know it was him. I never made that man my God. I never worshiped that man like that. I may have lied for him. I may have put him before other people. I never put him before my children, and I never put him before my God because I know who my God is. That man could never sell me the
Mm,
story that he is my God. I
mm.
wasn't having it. That was not me. Maybe other people, but never me, because I could never worship a man like that ever in my life.
You know
And
something?
that's how we this is what happens. The
Hold on.
enemy is a deceiver. He's
Peace.
a trickster.
1 second. I want to say, for me, I want to say that I did make that devil my God. And the reason that I'm going to say that is because I knew what was right. And I stuck with what was absolutely wrong. I knew it didn't feel right. I knew it didn't look right, didn't walk right, didn't talk right. I knew that it was the most painful situation I ever been in. I knew it was the worst situation I ever been in. And yet I stood up for it, knowing it was trifling. I still represented it. I knew that it was toxic in front of my children. I knew that it was toxic in front of my family. I knew that there was no justifying why I was in it on any level. And that's why I will say I did make it my God, because not in a sense where I consciously thought I was praising this person, praising someone, but in the sense that I knew what was right, but I practiced what was wrong. And then I'll go to God and ask God to fix the situation that I'm participating in, if that makes sense. Lord, can you please fix this situation that I'm consciously aware that this is the worst hell that anybody could go through. But because I'm married to it, because I done said, I do to this thing, Lord, I'm gonna ask you to fix it. But God was like, hold up, man. Hold up, man. No. I gave you free will. I gave you a free will. And I showed you that monster before you went and said I do to it. And you didn't trust it. You did not trust what I showed you. And now you want me to fix it? You got free will. You fix it.
Yep.
And I wasn't listening to none of it.
That's where like double-minded come in place, because that's more like half-hearted, because people do really love God. Like I was really truly like a believer, and I'm like, no, this is against the word, and then there was a line drawn in the sand. But this is how deception works, and this is what God is freeing people from. Like all of this is freeing people from being deceived, because Satan is really good at being a deceiver, and his agents are really good at being a deceiver. So what they do is not blatantly out there like, oh, I'm about to do this, you're gonna worship me, you're gonna do this. No, it's subtle. They start gradually stealing away worship from God. Like even in the Bible with the Israelites, a lot of the kings was half-hearted. They had God's altar, and then they had an altar for the idols. In our soul, we might have an altar for God, and then we might have an altar for the person or for life, for the worldly things. But there's a split. That's why it was always like a tug of war in the mind, because there is a battle in the mind happening. But some of those generational altars got to be torn down that we may not know about. But the deception is what they do is they get your thoughts preoccupied more on them. Like anytime it was this book talking about cults, and that's what the like that's a cult. Like they're a cult leader, and they make you do an action of a cult. A cult does things like they take your time, they give you adoration. That's how they kind of lure you in. That's what they call the love bombing. Then they start to make you work. Like the work that you're doing is building something, but it's building something for the cult. It's not necessarily building something for your benefit. It's building for that cult. And then they kind of, before you know it, you're so deep in it, it's not just as easy to get out of it. They make sure you have like some comforts in there, like a couple of children or something, or a job or a business or a contract. And then now you're kind of feeling trapped, but you can't quite understand. Like, okay, I can get out, but can I get out? Like you're starting to really have that tug of war pull. It's like something's not right. Your gut feel it, your spirit feel it, but something is not really allowing you to get out. That's the measures that a cult does. That's how they get their victims, their prey. And that's what the narcissists do, because they're like their father, the devil. They're actually like really good vessels and agents for Satan. And so everything that they kind of do is like Satan doing it through them, lure you to his kingdom, do more of this, destroy you a little more, and then get you so caught up in a web that getting out it is very difficult. Like it really take the mercy of God to get you out of that web, because it's a slow web that's spun. Just a string here or there. Ooh. And before you know it, when you realize that's a black widow right there, you really trapped in that web.
It's too late. And that's the way they're able to do what they do to people. One of the reasons that they're able to do what they do is that we see it, but we see it coming at us so slow that we don't even worry about it. If somebody swing at you and they throwing their hand like that, you ain't even worrying about that, because you're not gonna be able to hit me with that.
Yeah.
But then when they get it close enough to you, they pow. You're like, whoa, hey, yeah, I got you. You thought it was slow, and hey, I just hit the button when I felt like hitting the button. And now Man, you got to figure out what just happened to you. And that's all they want to do. They want to be able to get you off balance. That's what this whole game is all about. And the other side, I mainly want everybody to be able to walk away tonight with a vision of what the other side is like, because we don't talk about that enough.
Knowing God, look how everybody's count. Like, even if you look at some old videos, like you guys, your countenance is even brighter. You know, it's like you can tell like how God just been moving and transforming in both of you guys' life. Like I've seen a lot of older videos for years, and it's just like that is one of the odd moments. Like just really getting that freedom and God Himself transforming your lives and putting lives together and doing these door openings and the blessings and, you know, breaking curses and changing things for the bloodline for your children. Like all of that stuff has been happening. That's the main life after the narc. Like you can go back to an old video about 2 years ago and then play this again. You will see life after a narc just in your countenance.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. And you know what? One of the things that I think encourages people, because a lot of times you face depression, you know, you really start to lose your self-confidence, you know, like, well, what's next for me? And how am I going to get around this? How am I going to get away out of this? You know, but when you're able to watch people in real time, give you actual accounts of what it's like. I try not to overdo it, but I realize that's an issue, because I don't hold back when I tell you how trifling it is. When we talk about how trifling it is with what you're dealing with, nah, that's no holds barred. So my thing now is, listen, man, I want y'all to understand, man, the most beautiful place in the world that I have seen is a place in the world that you found how you can be happy at your own account. And you're happy because you hold yourself accountable for your happiness. Not because, hey, I just met somebody who is so incredible. Mm-hmm. Because now you just put all of that responsibility, all of that power in somebody else's hands.
Yes.
When you're able to be able to just say, nah, man, I am high on life. I am loving my life. Yeah, you know, inflation is crazy. The price on this food out here is through the roof, and everything else in life is what it is. However, I can appreciate, man, I was walking around earlier today and yesterday, y'all. Guys, I ain't lying. I was feeling like something is going on. Something is going on with me, because I'm walking around and I felt so good. I felt so happy. And I was like, you don't even get paid this week, and you got a bunch of bills. And I could not understand. I was like, wow, something big is coming. Something big is coming. Because I just feel good, and I don't even know why no more. I don't even understand, why do I just feel so good? And guys, this is what I want you to hear. It's just like rumination. You know, when you ruminating, you're going through that rumination, you're like, man, I'm so sick of this ruminating all the time, thinking about this fool, thinking about why this fool did this, why they do that, why this, why that. It's just the opposite on the other side. You're ruminating, but you're ruminating in feelings that are free. You're free. You're happy. You're going to be happy, and you're going to be happy on days and you don't even get it. You're just going to be smiling like, damn, I feel good. Like I just want, I just want to go over here and I want to pay it forward for somebody. I ain't even got the money today, but I'm gonna pay it forward with somebody. I'm gonna just give somebody a random hug. I just feel good. And I'm saying that's what it looks like on the other side, guys. That's what it looks like on the other side. You feel good and you're sitting there asking yourself, like, whoa, did I get a raise today? Did I get a new job? What happened? What happened? Why do I feel so good? And I don't know why. What was you going to say, Chana?
No, I was going to say it's that and not staying in victim mode, because it's a lot of information out here where people listen to, and it keeps them in victim mode, where a person can always blame the other person and not self-reflect. So people have to also be very, very careful about the information that they listen to.
That's right.
Because you will never see the other side. Some of these channels are designed to get paid off your pain.
That's it.
And so they don't care to see you reach the other side, because if you reach the other side, then that messes with their money. So sometimes it takes for you to think outside the box, to go outside and take a break from these channels for a while and go work on yourself and get some hobbies and do other things. Because the more you rely on these channels, even though we're good, we're great, if you become dependent upon this, you're never going to want to get out there and do something for yourself. You're going to come in here consistently depending on us to help you get through your day, through your hours, through your month. That's something that you have to work on yourself. We're giving you the tools. We can't do it for you, but you can always come in here and vent, but you have to get out there and do the work for yourself.
That's right. That's right. That's actually an excellent statement. And actually, I think that that's also something that I see happening. I've seen it happen over the years because the chat is constantly evolving. It's constantly evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm learning to look at that as an accomplishment. Like, wow, you know something? This chat is the way it is because people are actually, at least some, are actually healing.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually getting into a place where you feel like, wow, I can go out here and do something and be happy and feel good about myself and not just have to be no victim to something. Yeah. A victim, man, I just would not call myself that again. And I wouldn't call myself a victim because a victim doesn't have any control. A victim doesn't have any, guys, when we speak, like they say, words are spells. And when you're dealing with a witch, that's what they need. They need you to submit and do it in a way that you don't even know that's what you're doing. And if you're just the victim, I'm a victim of this, that means you didn't have control. And if you didn't have control, how will you ever gain your control? Just avoid that person? Well, you're going to meet somebody else.
Right.
It's going to do the same exact thing. When you point that finger back at you, that's who you giving the power to. Whoever you point that finger at, that's who you giving the power to. I'm telling y'all.
See, I want to add this too. A lot of these people take the Bible and flip it to how they want, like people saying, forgive. Okay, it's fine to give, but the Bible says forgive if they repent. So that person has to repent in order to be forgiven by you. So a lot of people say, oh, it's for you, it's for this. You can't forgive somebody who haven't repented. So how is that even possible? I just hate when people just take stuff and they twist it to fit their narrative. And act like you're supposed to go by it and all this. I hate that. You guys have to think for yourselves. You can't allow us and other people to think for you, because I am guilty of binge watching channels. I am very guilty. And when I go out there in the street and I see something I don't like, it's like I can't breathe. I'm running back to the TV. Oh my God, I didn't know this was gonna happen. I gotta watch this. You know what I'm saying? It's something out there to learn, because you're not getting it all here, and you're gonna bump your head. You're gonna fail, but it's God is gonna have you get tired. Your heart is gonna get tired of going through these situations. Don't let nobody push you into something that's not good for you at the moment. I'm not telling nobody to leave. I'm not telling nobody to stay. I'm telling you, do what works for your mental health. That's what I'm saying.
The with the way it will work, like as far as our bodies, like if, okay, our bodies are temples, right? Meaning we have our bodies are a portal too. And so what unforgiveness do, it kind of leaves an opening so that different spirits like bitterness and things can creep in and they try to have a home. But people's perception of what forgiveness is, I believe, is really distorted, because they feel like, well, I forgive this person. Let me go over here and let me call them and let them know that, you know, I forgive them. No, that's like making a call to Satan. You can't do that, because if you call the devil and you be like, hey, Satan, guess what? I forgive you. That's gonna really damage your life. That's what you're doing. You got to let that go.
Yep.
And you have to really have the help of God, because you're dealing with some super powered demons. They got the super capes and everything that's operating in these people, and they know how to put a whipping on somebody. So you got to make sure you got some angels, God, you know, all of that stuff rocking with you. When you getting away from this, they got to hide you in places. You got to have some legal assistance. They got to move in the courts. You know, all of this stuff have to happen, because you're dealing with a master witch or warlock that may or may not know they practicing. Some of them actively practice the dark arts and had your picture on some type of shrine, like they go there. But you have to know what you're dealing with. And what the forgiveness is just, hey, you know, like God help me in this area. Just go to him with that. You know, please don't try to call them. Just go to him with that forgiveness. And I'm gonna touch on the line. I'm gonna let you address that, because somebody's seen some lights in New York. Hey, them lights doing things, but we got the upper hand.
I was going to say something about that, because Young Chaos said something about that. He said, I ain't trying to make no comment. They ain't trying to make y'all panic, but I'm in Long Island looking at the sky, and there's some weird lights going on up there, blinking the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So my thought about all of that is this. It's not to say that there isn't life outside of this planet. For sure, I don't think that God created planets to not have life on them, right? But just like that planet has a different form of air, it has a different form of, it definitely got a different temperature. You know what I'm saying? It definitely has a different temperature. So it's just like us. We couldn't go to Mars and live on Mars unless you lived inside of some type of contraption that's going to feed you air, where you can eat food that's from this planet, because we from this planet. And you got to have food and water from this planet. You know what I'm saying? You can't go up to Mars and make you a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? It'll be made of the same stuff. It's a different temperature. The sun is hitting that planet in a different way than it's hitting this planet. The planets that are closer to the sun, those that live on those planets, obviously there's a much hotter temperature on planets that are closer to the sun. So those people are living in they're living in an atmosphere that's different than the atmosphere that we live in. So, and for me, my total point in all of this is just that, guys, we want to believe, you know, that of course there's a possibility of different stuff going on out here, right? Always. But remember, let's break it down to the basics. If Venus, and I don't even know what Venus, I ain't looked at one of those astrology things in so long. I can't see where Venus is located on which side of the planet, of our planet. Is it closer to the sun or further away? I think Mars is a few
How
thousand.
many of them? Like these are celestial planetariums. They're not even, these are habitats. Like when none, this is supernatural. The intergalactic is interdimensional. Like it's a whole different. That's what they were talking about in those meetings. They were like, so you're saying this is more interdimensional, and then you got the guy, the researcher, scientist on there, like, well, yeah, I'm saying it's more like this, but I'm not an expert. We know what we're dealing with these things because this is all written. But and then there's more of them. But if you look at them up close through a really super powered telescope, it's like a ball of chaotic energy, which that's what these things are. But there, it's pretty much the celestials, like the second heaven, where he say we don't wrestle against we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against powers, principalities, rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness in high places. These are what they call rulers of darkness. This is archons. So archons is the second heaven. That's where Satan is at, his kingdom. Like he's mainly in the air. They call him the prince of the air. So he got a kingdom there. And that kingdom, hey, they did what they did with CERN. That happened. Fired up some things. They opened up some portals. Because of that, now we are in a situation that has led into Bible prophecy. So this is rolling out. There's no way to stop it. But he did say, believers, hey, don't y'all worry about this, because it's a bunch of angels up there too. At the laugh that we was on last week, it was like a bunch of firecrackers. If people heard, it was like or fireworks, pop, 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 pop. I had pause, but I'm like, I don't know if anybody heard that. I was on this show. It was some fireworks happened at 10:57 up here in Ohio. Those are the boom sounds that they all investigate and all this stuff is going on. But they was live on the show. They lasted about 5 minutes. They're not prepared for this. But what can we do? We can't go up there and try to fight whatever coming. You got some angels up there. Just stay away from narcs. You might not get struck because that's them, that's their children.
Keisha, my thing is, again, if you're talking about men from Mars, right? I'm not the one saying man on Mars.
It's a shapeshifter on Mars.
I'm positive that it's life on Mars. But if that planet is millions of miles away from us, then it is cold on Mars. So their skin, it ain't like our skin. They got something totally different because our skin probably couldn't make it 1 second being exposed to that type of atmosphere. And I'm saying all this just to say that the same thing, the same rules that apply to us when we go to another planet, if we had technology that could get us to another planet, we would be under those exact same bylaws. Now we're in somebody else's universe. We're in the atmosphere of their planet. So when you get out of this contraption that you got there in, it's going to be cold, and it's going to be cold on a level you ain't even ever been exposed to. For somebody to come from way out there, millions of miles away, you can't imagine how cold that is. We don't have mathematics that could go down to numbers that cold. And then they just come all the way up here to this heat. They would have to be able to build a machine that could survive this kind of heat. Just like us right now. We don't have the material, we don't have the knowledge to build a contraption that can travel to the sun. Because it's just too hot. When you get close to that sun, you're not going to get close to the sun. I just found out that the sun is a gas. I never knew that the sun was a gas. I don't know why I thought it was a thing of molten lava.
This is information. Do you know NASA mean to deceive? this information that is given to us that we have learned, this is all a great deception. Like everything that we've learned, and I only know this. I only know not because of like the background and everything, even though that's true. But before coming to all of this, my family did some things. Whatever they was into, I was able to astro project or whatever I was doing. But anyhow, there was some things you can see other realms. Like everything that they call quantum is realms. It's not quantum physics like that. They say quantum physics because it's the unexplainable physics, which I used to love. I used to love all about quantum physics and stuff, CERN, all of that. But then I realized it was demonic. Like once you understand the Bible and God and who He is and how this works with deliverance and all that with the demonic particles and stuff, and then you understand the quantum physics and neurobiology and all of that, and you put the two together, you realize, okay, God is real. Bible is true. Everything that was happening supernaturally definitely affects the natural. They're figuring this out in science. They know that that's what's working, or they know that's how it go, but they're deceiving us because they want to control the dark side. They think they're in control, but the dark side's deceiving them. They're controlling them. But all of this new like particles, if anybody ever watched Venom, it showed everything on this new Venom movie. I do be watching that, but that show a lot about a lot of things I talk about. This meteor stuff that's been shooting in here and stuff, it's you can't call it alive because everything in the kingdom of darkness is death. Satan is not alive, but he has a sentience, he has an awareness, a knowledge. And so that's why they're trying to now make laws to redefine what life is, because life is not what they say God breathing life into creation. They want it to be this other stuff as well from Satan's kingdom. AI and stuff is alive, it's aware, it's conscious.
There you go.
So we have to be careful because the deception is trying to get the kingdom of darkness to rule and everybody to accept evil for good, and good will now be evil. That's what's really happening. So this presence is coming. We got some angels to fight that. We can't fight it. They trying to get the military. Hey, what y'all gonna do? But ain't no what you gonna do? You gonna shoot at something that can just disappear?
Listen, everything is about the boogeyman. Everything is about keeping you scared. It has been, listen, these lies been going on since lies have been. Okay. And then the thing that's crazy about it is the lie has not changed.
But people need to look, if they look up monoliths that appeared, those came out December 2020. We had some other stuff that came out around that time too. Since those things popped up around the globe, it's been a lot of stuff happening. So
I don't believe in other planets. I don't believe a man ever been to the moon. I don't believe there were ever dinosaurs. I don't believe in any of that. I just figure man came down here and tried to figure God out. Because if you can tell me who was the first crash test dummy to go to space and then was able to come back and tell them how they died and what they needed to build to get somebody up there, please inform me.
And look, this is
you don't die. You go up in the higher atmosphere, that's instant death.
Who was that? Exactly? Who was that guy? Who somebody Armstrong was the first man on the moon? Was this the first step for all mankind? Who was his name?
Neil Armstrong. He actually lived in Ohio.
And you know what's crazy? The day they showed that was a lie was the day they said, "Who was that holding the camera? Who was on the ground holding the camera? If you the first person, a picture, a video of you jumping up and down on the moon."
The phone service, because the president called him on the phone, the landline. It wasn't even a cell phone. It's the landline. Like you got a cord
on the moon
all the way to the moon. Okay.
Yeah,
They figured out how to get to the moon, but can't find a cure for cancer and HIV, and they've been working on that for years.
They was able to wire a little socket up there for the phone to reach. Somebody had to install the jack so they could have a telephone to go up there, because he was on running on them old phones, with the that rotary. He'll be trying to dial somebody's number. Don't let it start with 984. You like
is tell us any lie they want to tell us, as long as we ain't gone to the moon.
We ain't going to the moon.
The lie is, it gives you this thought that they must have some type of knowledge. They must have been there because they know something about the moon that I don't know.
They would never be able to sell me on the moon. I would be like, man, I would just eat some trees that's left before I get myself on something and go to some moon. Like they trying to let's buy a condo on the moon.
Not just that, but then they're saying that you standing on the moon and
the wind don't blow you.
Look, you're standing on the moon and you're looking back at the earth. So they're saying that there's no atmosphere that you have to go through to get to the moon. You don't have to go through the atmosphere. Like when you come to Earth, you got to go through the Earth's atmosphere. They saying that the moon don't have that.
we not gonna skip over the part that he went up there with a whole flag too.
The flag, oh yeah, okay.
Put his flag in there and say, "Hey, man."
He didn't get blew away or nothing. They was able to plant that thing, take a couple steps.
You know what, y'all? We talking about this, but this is exactly how the devil works.
Yeah,
Creates this whole big old lie, and it makes you think that this devil is more powerful than he is. It makes you think that he knows something that he doesn't know. And we just sitting there because we don't question it. We just, oh wow, really?
Okay.
What? He was on the moon and he got pictures, so he had a camera too. Like, Joe, that was the biggest. But when you believe, listen, as long as we believe lies, man, then we off balance. And that's where we are right here. That's how you get to a place where narcs have control. Because we sitting here like we still believe all this crazy mess they telling us. Listen, we sitting here believe half the people out here believing it because Donald Trump is the president again. People talking about, man, y'all can be slaves again and everything. They really was saying that. During they was really saying that. He gonna make y'all slaves. Really? Good.
All of it is one big stage. It's William Shakespeare. That's who they love. This is all just, it's a stage. Like your reality, they found out a long time ago they can engineer the human consciousness. That's the thing. How do they do it? You provoke strong emotions like fear and sadness. You get those two emotions, a person can self-will dissociate. Now, this thing called dissociative amnesia, that come with narcissistic victim abuse. I don't even want to call it that because it's really, you just victimized by the demonic kingdom. It's called demon abuse. That's what you tell away.
But Keisha, look, that's exactly where we are. That's how we get caught up in this crazy web that we end up in, because we listening to people that's lying. We listening to lies, but the problem is we believe it.
Yeah,
because the itchy ears want to hear the lie. There is, I mean, it really take God to shake somebody out of Delulu land. When a person in Delulu land, you can present all the facts. A private investigator can say, hey, he cheating, he the daddy, this is the picture of the baby, this is them together, this is this, and you will still look at it all and be like, but I know the love we got is real. You know, it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
they will look at you like, no, no, no. All the traps that you thought was like traps to end you, those were real. Here's the insurance plan. Here's this. Here's the life they plan afterwards. But if your itchy ears want to hear, you will scan through all the truth and you will hear that one narcissistic video that say, they thinking about you as much as you thinking about them. Every time you have a dream about them, that's them thinking about you.
Yeah.
That's they demon. These people are demonized. They might as well have a body in a hanger in a closet, and the demons living in a house come put on a body for the morning and go live life. Because that's what it is. The
And the
demons
reason
was talking to you.
you ruminating because the devil know that they're still avoiding you, that he sent that person in your life for in the first place. Until you heal those wounds and fill those voids, you're going to always think about that person, because that's the person that clogged that void, that clogged that hole. And once they remove themselves, that hole is still there, unfulfilled. So you have to do the work. You have to go to therapy. Therapy is a tool for you to use to heal and to get through life. They are not there to help you heal. People go to them, oh, they're not telling me what I want to hear. No, they're not going to talk about narcissism. They're going to talk about what's wrong with you. And that's what you need to be talking about, you, not that person. Once you deal with you, then you're going to not even think about that person or even care anymore, because the root of the problem is you in your childhood or whatever happened to you that caused you to allow that person into your life and do the things that they did for that extended period of time. That is a tool for you to work on you, not for them to talk about narcissism. Because for one, they're not going to talk about it because they can't diagnose that person, because that person is not there for them to say that's what they are. So the goal is to work on you.
That's it. That's it.
And they rock with a legion of demons, and one is the spirit of death that come with it. It's not, they cannot separate from that stuff. That's why they go to so many funerals. And when you're with them, people will be out of your life. They will pass on. It is to see the pattern happen repeatedly. You know, it's sad when you see somebody in it because you know what they're about to go through. But that person, that's the narcissist, because of the contract that they made with the devil, whether they wrote it on paper or it's in the mind, they got an agreement with the devil and his kingdom. Because of that contract, the spirit of death and infirmity comes with it. These entities do not separate. Like the spiritual realm is more real than the real world. Like we are tangible evidence of the spirit realm. Once you can handle it there and tear down altars, break generational curses, heal, and all of that stuff, you will have no problem in the natural. You might have your ups and downs. You're going to go through things. They're going to have their little attacks, but you're going to be so victorious. The narc, you won't even really care to think about whatever they or it is doing, because you will realize it was a whole kingdom against you. You had a narc on the job. You had a narc in a family. You had a narc in a friend group. You had a narc here. Like the enemy surrounded you with these type of pawns because he knew that he had to attack you from every angle to get you conditioned to think this was normal. That's a tactic of a cult, because the devil want to be worshipped.
I want to add this to what Keisha said too. Like when she said they could present evidence to you showing that this person is cheating. That's because the narcissist or whatever they are, groomed us to see it that way. Because when we present our evidence to them, they're gaslighting us that that's not what it is. They're not going to admit the truth because they want you to doubt what you're seeing so that it won't even look like the truth to you. It's not the truth to them in their delusional head, no matter how much, even if you do something to them, you could show them evidence. I mean, they accuse you of something, you could show them evidence. In their head, you did it, regardless of what you show them. Right. And so they groomed you to think that way. So when someone show you some evidence or you collect some evidence, you're not going to believe it. You're going to believe what they say. And that's why we look at it that way, because we're groomed by them to see it that way.
There you go.
And anytime you have pain, a strong emotion, if this is the only take back, remember, anytime there is a strong emotion, pain, hurt, sadness, and fear, those emotions, they have been scientifically proven in controlled studies that would cause a person's reality to be able to be altered. You can alter it with word of suggestion. You can alter it with whatever type of influence you want to alter it with. But that person will be so split because of that strong emotion that their reality and perception is able to be altered.
Yep.
That's what gaslighting is. And that word alter, that means that you have been able to build another altar. I always listen to the phonics for a deity to now come in, and now they can take residence in your mind, whether that's rejection, whether that's fear and anxiety, depression, whatever that looks like. That can take a position in your mind because that strong emotion that the narcissist did when they had shattered your world, because that's what cheating does, it shatters you, or betrayal, they shatter you with betrayal. And then boom, they can put in, once they alter their perception and take a piece of your mind of Delulu, that's it. They got you. You've been bewitched. That's how you gotta look at it.
Oh man, let me get to the super chats here. Patrice Bean, thanks for the super chat, Patrice. Patrice said, "Going from prison to paradise." Hello, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Going from prison to
Yes.
paradise. That's exactly what it's like. Whoo, man. Logician, thanks for the super chat, Logician. Logician said, "The narc is bringing the new supply around my child all the time to get at me. I'm sorry. Please give me strength and wisdom. This affecting me so much. They bringing this. Why are you bringing this? Why are you bringing this hussy around my kid, man? Why are you doing that?" So, Logician, when you're dealing with a narc, you already know anything goes. Okay, that soft spot that you got right there around your child. Well, the narc has realized that it ain't a whole lot else that they do that has an effect on you. So what do? Like, hey, you know what? You might not care about me being with somebody else, but you care about me having somebody else around our kid. So now that's the angle. Because remember, it is nothing more painful to a narcissist than to have to watch an ex get away and start winning in life and be happy. Listen, if y'all think it's something on this planet that hurts a narc more than having to look back in their life and remember all the bridges that they have burned and destroyed, and look back at that bridge that they know I bombed that bridge, and it's a brand new bridge over there. It looked better than the one that it was up before. It's better, it's stronger. They can't destroy it anymore. They can't even access that bridge anymore. And they got to keep looking. They got to go past it every day, but they got to go around it because they can't cross that bridge anymore. And they used to rule on that bridge. When you're dealing with someone and they get to that place where they have to destroy something that you care about, that's an admission that I personally cannot get to you. And I'm so weak-minded, I gotta do something that's gonna tear you down. Because when I tried to tear you down when we were together, it didn't work. Okay? It didn't work. I did everything I could do to tear you down. It did not work. So now you don't force me to go out here and start doing things to our child.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I'm gonna pretend that I'm in love with this new person and blah 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 blah. If you're looking for a narcissist to one day have some integrity and like, hey, won't you at least be in a strong, committed relationship first before you start introducing your children to people? At least do that. If you think they're ever going to get to that place, let me first tell you that you're wrong. They are not going to get to that place
yeah,
because they're more interested in bringing you pain and figuring out how can I get you back in the conversation.
one thing they don't understand that children are casualty of war. When these people leave, that means war for them, not for you. You're in a war you don't even know you're in. And when these people go out and find somebody, they go find the person that they're going to use to antagonize you and get at your weakness. This is not some random person that they just got with. This is somebody that they knew was perfect for messing with you, for revenge. And that's why that person is willing to do such a thing. But they don't care because that's a dangerous game. When you cause someone to hate someone, that person will do anything to hurt. It goes beyond you now. And that's what I'm experiencing. I'm being stalked and antagonized by her than I am him, because he caused her to hate me for whatever reason and she don't even know me. And that's a dangerous game because people like that can poison your children, can harm your children because they don't like you. So not only is that person that you were with trying to get revenge on you by using a child, now the other person is going to get revenge on you through your child by any means. These people don't have no integrity, they don't have no morals, and they don't care. These people roll the dice every day, risking everything because they impulsive. They don't care about nothing. All this stuff that we do for them, cooking, cleaning, they don't want it, none of that. Most of them are nasty people. They don't want
Mhm.
any of that. They not asking us to do all that. They fine with stepping over trash on the floor.
Mm.
They just want to be able to do what they want to do when they want to do it, and you shut up about it. That's all they want
Yeah.
from you.
They wicked and they want an accomplice. That's it. So the person that they pick is somebody that's equally willing to aid in their destruction of another person.
Yeah.
Mm.
They're equally willing. So like the step when the stepson came, like when I had got married, he was literally abusive to that stepson, choking him everything. He wanted me not to say anything. He wanted me to lie when child protective services got involved, even with their own child. And so when you have to answer to God and you have that when God step in, you got to make that choice because a narc will push you to that choice. You better choose God. And when you getting out of that, when he pulling you out, like I said, coming out of this, you're gonna have to have some angels, you're gonna have to have God, you're gonna have to have some navigating through legal system and all of that, because like China was saying, that person, if you've seen any of them wicked attractions, the person they get with can harm your child.
Yep.
I I've had the first 100 that was a wicked person they was with. However, the fear of God made it so that them children stayed safe.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up witnessing somebody being unalive with a gun. It's like so many situations because I told you the crew that they rock with, destruction and death, them two, the crew that they rock with that follow them in their household and them scrolls that they be having in their household with them curses on it. Because of that stuff, all this chaos and danger come to them. They're usually on the news for something. They in some type of crime. Things happen that don't typically happen to people. So you always have to like pray over your children if court order is involved and they have to be involved in some capacity, but never let it get to you as if, ooh, they found somebody that they into and they giggling and they laughing because you know that person with the devil.
Come on.
I don't think nothing
Come
good
on.
comes from that. Anytime they laughing, they only laughing because they causing pain, heartache, destruction, or the end. Like that's all the devil can give. And then he torment his own workers and his own children. The
Yep.
devil do.
Every
So
time.
that person going through things, they probably got skin falling off, hair falling out,
Mm.
all this kind of stuff going on. They're going through infirmity because that's another one of the crew that's always with the narc. Chaos, infirmity, that's disease, sickness, the deaf one that rocks with the narc, and the destruction. Those are superpower entities that's always hovering around them because they're so wicked. They love doing wicked things. Now, if one ever repent or a couple repent, that's fine. God loves everybody. He loves
Yeah.
them. But you're not God. No one on here is God that can come in. I've tried it. I did slap deliverance and everything. I've literally tried it all. Got oil from the Sea of Galilee. Didn't work. So the narc is there's something with that agreement and that covenant. They got those powers hovering over them,
Mm.
and you cannot look at whatever they doing in your face as something that you should be envious of or want or desire, because they gonna mistreat that person way worse.
Yeah.
Accomplices get treated way worse.
And
They just don't know they in Delulu.
I want to say to that person, don't let them see you sweat. Because the more you let them see you sweat, they're going to keep doing it and they're going to lay it on because they know it's getting to you. Whatever, unfortunately, the courts try to make you work with your abuser to co-parent and don't care who is around your child as long as that other parent get the rights. And they don't see if you couldn't work together in a marriage or a relationship with your abuser, how you going to do it apart? And the court systems are failing our children. But I've been through that situation. Don't let them see you sweat, because eventually they're going to give up and they're going to have to turn on each other and destroy each other, because now the finger pointing is like this because you moved out the way and there's no one to blame and there's no one to torture. They love chaos. I had one guy told me before, he do not like a weak woman. You know, that's why they leave us in the end, because we're weak and we can no longer feed them that chaos. So they want to run off to the streets and find that chaos. And that's why when you get strong again, they want to come back. So you can argue with them and they can drain you of all your energy. That's all they want, is to feed that demon. And when you can't feed that demon no more, they're going to go out and find somebody toxic for a little while so they can go back and forth and then get a kick out of doing you wrong and then want to come back to you as if they never did any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I think my girl Sasha got an excellent question tonight. Thanks for that super chat, Sasha. Mwah. Sasha said, what do you do when you love the narc's kids?
I had took custody of my stepson. I raised him for like four years, until he was grown, and went through all the ups and downs, all the different things that they go through, and it's very challenging. And that was because the protection order was against the narc with that child. But you love, but you have to understand that that's another angle, a door that the enemy is going to use, because it's generational curses. Like it's hard to get around generational curses. It's some things that you can love and you can try to like overcome, but the enemy with a narcissist, oh, they coming for the bloodline. Narc demons are married to the bloodline.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you love that person's children, that's as far as you can go, because that person is going to use that child to enter into your life. That's just a gateway into your world again. You have to learn to get past that. You have to put it in God's hands, even if you think they're not a good parent for that child. You have to leave that in God's hands, because I'm a firm believer that whatever happens, it was God's plan. Whether that child survive or pass away from the hands of that person, that's God's will. And we can't change his will no matter what. His will shall be done. And so you can't stress yourself and worry yourself over something that is easy to God. You taking on a stress that's unnecessary. If you love them from a distance, but you got to love yourself too. Because God carried me as a child through that abuse with my parents. And you have to have the same faith and belief that God is going to carry that child through that same pain and abuse.
And it's grievous like that. And that's what the narc do. They get you with the kids on day 2. The kids come and you're like, oh, we a family. What's your last name again? Like that's how they do. They move fast so they can lock you in with those heartstrings. They always send the child. That's one of the enemy's thing, because when he send the child and they're like, oh, I love you, you grow a bond with the child, but it keeps you in an abusive cycle. Or such and such just wanted to see you. They was asking about you. All lies. Like when you leave that narc kingdom, you gotta shut that kingdom down. It's painful. It's very hard. It's very hard, but it's very necessary, because they'll grow up and the child end up being a narc.
That's what I was gonna say.
Now you getting gaslit by a teenager. It's so crazy, and you being police be at the door. See, they come with law enforcement too. I forgot that, Demon. You go at the police at your door.
You know what? I'm gonna add to this. I mean, it's really sad to say, but that's a setup.
Yeah.
I could sit here and give you a whole bunch of guacamole about how, the kid's innocent and they this and this that and this blah blah blah. All of that is based on your good heart, your genuine relationship to that family. Remember, we are the only ones that are genuine. When you got to go over there and it's a situation where it's outside kids, remember which side those kids are on when that thing separates. And I say that because those kids are going to be used against you one day.
Oh, yeah.
The ladies have said that's how they're going to enter back into your life. Well, don't you, they just want to see you. They just want to say hi and, just any old excuse about us getting back together. And the reality is those kids, that relationship with those kids ain't strong enough to keep us together. So, when it's time to exit and trust and believe, you have millions of people out here that can attest to what that breakup looks like. Because, you may have played a certain role in that child's life, but again, you are the one that's being genuine. Those kids look at it like you just a step parent to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes y'all might have that bond. Sometimes a child, you might have that bond because the other parent is so wretched and so terrible that kid really appreciates the fact that you saved their life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different factors that you have to look at in it, but always remember the bloodline. Always remember that bloodline, because you pouring yourself into that child.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking, well, the children are innocent. And you're going to find out, they're not as innocent as you thought.
Yeah.
See, something happens with puberty. Once puberty hit or switch on, that's when them demons really reinforce in a child. So that them bloodline demons come in, and that's when you really see it full throttle. You will see it in the daughter or the son or whoever, but that's when they turn on and you can see they are their parents' child.
There you go.
So,
and you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I want to add this before I forget. And 9 times out of 10, you were the one tending to those kids, because they don't watch their kids. They don't spend time with their kids. And that's how you bonded with them. But at the same time, like Harry said, remember that bloodline. And if that narc tortured those children and they got to go over there and be with that narc, when they leave, you don't need part of that situation. Because at the end of the day, if that person wants that child to say you touched them, that child is going to say you touched them. So you need to walk away from that situation and leave it be.
Yeah.
And they're always gonna be that forever victim too. Like that, these are some of the traps just from experience. Like they're gonna do a lot of crazy things. They might get into a lot of like juvenile detention trouble, all of that stuff, and you're gonna rescue them because see, the enemy just want to keep you in that heightened nervous system reaction, that fight or flight. So you rescuing them. Now you're going to juvie instead of the regular jail, bailing them out, doing this. You're still in your codependent rescue mode because now the child is the victim and not the narc that you got away from. And then y'all trauma bonded because both of y'all just went through the trauma of the narc, and then the narc can tiptoe back in and out because they will, because you got their child. It's a lot of crazy things that happen, but then over time you will see that they're really similar because they'll just send cash app requests. They'll start saying, hey, what's going on? Like, I'm just doing this, doing that. Then cash app requests. Like, they'll start doing the same similar thing. It's always that cash app request.
Not going to step on my toes in here tonight, okay? That's what you're not going to do, Because I'm going to tell y'all, man, you know, since we keeping it 100, you know.
Yes.
Wow. It's sad to even have to go there.
Yeah.
But I'm dealing with that right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'll sit back and be like, I've raised this kid. I've raised this kid and treated this kid like my own. Okay, when this kid get in trouble in school, I go to the school and deal with that situation. Mm-hmm. I deal with this like he is my own. I'm the one giving out the whoopings, everything, the discipline, doing and not just discipline, but everything. And you can sit there and do all of that in love, and your intentions are true. And you will wake up one day, man, and that kid will act like they don't even know you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cash app requests
until they need some money.
Yeah.
Won't even reach out to you until that money come. You know, that situation transpires. I'm telling you, we want to believe that I did the right thing. Yeah, you did the right thing as far as what you would want done to you. But you didn't do the right thing as far as what that person should have had to deal with. That person has a parent. And see, what people try to do is, especially in the generation now where it's all mixed families, right? You go into a mixed family and it's a whole different set of rules in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a different set of rules in that. And I'm saying, at the end of the day, man, you know whose bloodline belongs where. Mm-hmm. And you better treat it accordingly, because should you and that parent break up, that bloodline is going to stay true.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The bloodline going to stay true, man. So, you know, and all you're going to have, it's just like dealing with the narc, because you're ruminating. You said, man, ain't no way. After all I did for you, after all I gave you, after all I sacrificed for you, it's no way you acting like that now. Yes, it is a way. And they're doing it.
And they'll do stuff like the one narc that I had children by, even after we had broke up, like after 8 years, like he would still go get his children, the two boys, bring them to me to watch, because I had a couple of siblings, for the weekend while he with the new person. Like this is how narcs do. Like if you're the one that they know, okay, narcs know, they know automatically your heart more better than you know your own heart. They know like this person got a really good heart. They're very motherly. They'll be good for my children. So they'll pick the children up. They want to look like a hero. Have you watching the children while they out with this other trashy narc that don't like children, out doing whatever they want to do, and then pick the children up and drop them off with the baby mama that they also screwing, looking like the hero father of the weekend. But the children had a good time because you're not going to sit there and, be mean to the children. You're going to love on the kids and everything else. But they had a good weekend, so they report to their mom, we had a good weekend, blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, this narc is out here hoeing around. But you're the babysitter now. Like, you went from being the fiance to the babysitter. Like, you have to disconnect. Once you disconnect, like, nah, I'm good. And they be like, oh, well, the kids crying. I don't care about them kids crying. Like, once you really like lay it down and you have your eyebrows on and you serious and no is no, that will stop, and that will start a healing process. That will start healing and disconnecting from that connection that you might feel whenever you see this narc, or when they call their little demon butterflies in the stomach. That'll stop that. But you gotta cut that tie with the children. It's hard.
And that's why I made a rule. If I get out there and date and stuff, I don't want nobody attaching to my kids, and I don't want to be around nobody's kids. I'm not being stepmom, and nobody's being stepdad, because I don't want that situation where I have to deal with somebody else's kids. They could be demons from hell, for all I know. Let the mama, the grandmother, whoever deal with those kids. I'm not looking for a package deal.
Man, oh man, hey y'all.
I just don't have the black eyes. If their eyes turn black, the stepson had the snake eyes. It was like, why I got snake eyes? Because your daddy got snake eyes. There's a snake in there. Like,
man,
I'm gonna need you to leave.
Even though they do, they're snake like, they not snakes, because see, we have a fear of snakes. I don't want to give the narc no power. Hey, ladies, look, man.
He had snake eyes. That way, because they turned back to human. Then he lost control of his ass. I was like, I think you need to leave.
Wow. Man, I tell y'all. So, ladies, what y'all gonna leave them with for the weekend, man? Give them something to get them through. Give them something to help them, make them think about, self-happiness, how to get back to being, who they were at one point. How do they get to be the person they want to be?
I would say life after the narc initially is rough. It's like the whole 5 stages of death. You're gonna go through denial. This is not happening. You're gonna go through like the anger, the bargaining. Well, maybe if I do this or do that. You're gonna go through the sadness. But once you get to that stage of acceptance, because you are not, it's not that you just dying to that relationship, you dying to your old way of thinking. And once you get to that acceptance, like, wait a minute, whoa, let me look inside myself, come out of the Lululand, see how I got here, heal some things in childhood, stop putting some boundaries on family members, on friendships that are not real, fake friends, co-workers, like whatever areas that you need to put boundaries in, people that have backwards compliments, laughing at people capping on you, or laughing at people talking bad about you. It's really a downplay, but you laughing at it or joking. That's not funny. Cut them people off, because they don't like you. They jealous and envious if they talking bad about you or bringing up your situation or causing some pain, but you got to laugh like it's a joke. All of that healing in those areas get you to the point where, boom, now you got your God connection back. You got your glow on. You going on trips. I've always had money to go to the Bahamas, but it's always been ciphered out by a narc. Now I get to enjoy life, like things that I love. I love family. I can go with my dad and my children, like nobody's fighting, or there's not a narcissist. Like, I don't like those children, but I like those children, or I don't like this family member, but I'll go here, and they're not complaining about everything. It's too hot. I don't like water. I don't like both. You don't have to hear complaints. You don't have to hear murmurs, low frequency mumbling all the time. You can wake up and you don't have to have your nervous system out of whack because somebody calling your name about something dumb. Hey, I got my finger stuck, just dumb stuff. You don't have to deal with that. You can really enjoy just living life for you. saying no and being okay with your no, and not living in fear of what if. You will meet somebody once you detach from a narc. You can meet somebody that actually love you, and you won't be tied to a situation where you got to try to sneak around. You actually can be healed and whole and love someone back. You can't love someone still going through the narc stuff, because that's not love, that's toxicity. So one thing, one real takeaway from the life after dealing with a narcissist is that it's actually life, not death. You're not living like the Walking Dead. You're actually living life.
Facts. What you got for him, China?
I want to say healing is discipline. And in order to see the other side, you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined in loving yourself, disciplined in staying single, disciplined in just doing what it takes to get you back to you. We will never, ever, I don't care what people say, never, ever be whole again, because we're going to always have that one crack that's going to remind us of our past, no matter what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to be whole, there has to be no cracks. We're going to always have those wounds, because these are not just the way these things did us. It's not normal. It's not normal.
It's not.
And it's something you definitely will not forget. It's something you will think about over and over and over throughout your life.
Yeah.
But I also want to say this too. These people are good at leaving us at rock bottom. For those of you who have been left at rock bottom, or they on their way out the door and you're at rock bottom, don't panic, because the only way to go is up. You already at the bottom. There's nothing else that they can do to you, because you are already there. The only way to go is up. Start being your own dealer and inject yourself with love.
Ooh.
Inject yourself with peace.
Oh, your own dealer. There you go. I like that. Be your own dealer. You giving yourself them love injections, them peace injections, them growth injections, that mental stability injection, that happiness injection. Man, I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, for the weekend and for every day, just going forward, take your life seriously. This is not a test. This is not a game. This is your actual life, ladies and gentlemen. One day you're going to see those words and it's going to mean something to you, and you're going to pay attention to it. Man, oh man. There are so many people out here that didn't answer that wake-up call today and yesterday and the day before. A lot of people ain't gonna answer tomorrow. I'm telling you, this is your life, this is your turn, and it's time to turn it all the way up. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't live for somebody else. It's your turn to live for you. Whatever age you're at, remember, this is your life to enjoy. You either gonna make a way for you to enjoy it, or you're going to make a way for somebody else to benefit from your life. And that means you're not benefiting from it. It's your turn to enjoy your life, ladies and gentlemen. It's your turn to enjoy your life. That's the way God made it, not me. That's the way God made it, for you to enjoy it. And yeah, I get it. We got bills, we got children, we have parents, everybody pulling on you, everybody needs you. But at the end of the day, everybody they're gonna take care of them.
Oh yeah.
They're going to enjoy their life to the fullest.
Yes.
Don't be the one that's always looking back at your life saying, wow, where did the time go? I wish I would have did more of this. I wish I would have just went outside and sat in the sunlight more. I wish I would have went to the beach more. I wish I would have traveled more. I wish I would have just did a little more to just enjoy life a little bit. Just a little bit. I wish I would have just did some things so I could be in the conversation when people talk about, did you ever do this? Did you ever do that? Did you enjoy your life? I went to 2 funerals today.
What?
Listen, I'm telling y'all, if you're privileged to come to my funeral, man, it's going to be a celebration like no other. Because they're going to look at that dude. They're going to say, man, that dude did it. That joker did it. He took that life and, man, he transformed it into, and he did it his way. He did it his way. And I'm saying, guys, however you decide you're going to live your life and whatever you're going to do, just please do this one thing. Just one. Just this one thing. Live your life in a way where everybody knows that you did it your way.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. As long as you can, man, they could put you in the ground and say, oh, man, so-and-so did it their way. That's it. That's one incredible memory, because when somebody eulogizes you one day, you want to be inspirational to others. Like, whoa, man, you did that. Y'all, listen. I'm telling y'all, you need to flex. We always be worrying about what we putting in the casket. I'm going to have all of my passports in the casket. Yes, indeed. Y'all can walk up there and look at me. My passport's going to be open. Just be looking through the pages like, wow. This joker done been everywhere on this planet and enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoyed it. I'm saying, get up, get out there, enjoy your life. It's your life. Stop creating excuses. Well, I got to take care of my mama and I got to take care of these kids, won't get it together. Yeah, that's on them.
Real.
Yeah.
That's on them. They'll figure it out. You know, I ain't telling you to go abandon everybody, but I am telling you stop abandoning yourself.
Yeah.
All right. And we're going to leave you just like we brought you in here with nothing but love, peace, and soul train. Yes, indeed, y'all. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. It is incredible hanging out with y'all.
Good night.
It's freezing in DC. Good night, y'all. Peace. Thank you, ladies.